Alright guys, that's Kremp again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The king of CoD himself is seriously concerned about the state of Call of Duty and what it means for the future of this franchise. When Microsoft took over Activision Blizzard and seemed to be making serious changes to CoD, it seemed like maybe there was going to be some steps in a positive direction, but in many respects, things have never been as bad as they are right now. The player count's falling off a cliff. Many of the top players, the Nadeshots, the Scumps of this world, not even playing much Call of Duty anymore. What does it mean for the competitive side of the scene as well? What could the players and the scene do to try and arrest this situation, or is it really all on Microsoft or maybe the fans to no longer buy the games until they fix some of these issues? Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Kremp a while ago kind of teased what he's going to be up to for the upcoming season in the racing world, and of course he's now back on OpTic, he's back on the podcast, he's involved in the CoD scene again, and it's nice to see. But yeah, he's still going to be part of the Rafa Racing Club or Rafa Racing team. There were some speculations on whether he would be able to still be part of this, being part of OpTic, right, and whether those discussions would work out. I didn't really ever see an issue with it, but because OpTic aren't involved in the racing world. Okay, occasionally they sponsor a NASCAR team, but yeah, it says driver announcements coming soon. This could be Kremp, the final shot here. So I'm not exactly sure what Kremp's going to be up to. Of course, you can imagine that he's going to try and move into a different racing series and take a step forward next year in his career, so we'll see if that goes to plan for him, but I know that there's some exciting things on the horizon. Just to kind of point out some of the chief grinders in CoD right now, there are very few players that are actually trying to play 8s or just anything of this kind of ilk, really. Drazah is always one of them. This guy's always grinding 8s. We know how it is. And it was him, Shotzzy, Neptune, I'm guessing this is, and Paul X against Hook, this guy, Hyde, TJ, and Prolute. So, yeah, pretty good selection of players, to be honest, just to look at the guys that are actually putting in the hard graft. And I'm not saying that if you don't play 8s, it reflects too badly on you, but I think there is a general trend between the players that grind the hardest and really, you know, I mean, this is obviously Boxing Day, basically. Obviously, my time, it was in the morning here in the UK, but it was 26th of December. These guys getting on, putting some money on the line to play some Search and Destroy 8s. Like, there aren't many players anymore that have the passion like this, which seems kind of ridiculous, but, you know, it is what it is. And these are some of the chief candidates. Shotzzy was gassing up Paul X the other day for grinding a lot. Here he is. Paul, Shotzzy, obviously Hook as well. So if you look at these teams, you'll see only a couple from certain franchises, with the exception, really, of Shotzzy and Hook, both grinding. So I think OpTic fans would be pretty satisfied to see that. But also TJ, I think, like, TJ's in such an interesting position as a player. It wasn't long ago he was getting heavily criticised. People thought that he might be out of the league. That was maybe going to be his next step. But no, last year he really stepped up again on the Ravens. He's stayed there this season. His Search and Destroy, we know, is obviously one of his absolute best game modes. And Illy was also playing a tournament yesterday, won a 3 versus 3 CMG tourney. So there's lots of grinding going on for some of these guys, including from Colt Havoc. I just thought I'd congratulate Havoc on his kind of success really as a streamer since retiring, grinding out ranked play. I mean, man, this guy's been going through it. Very entertaining personality, and to hit 30,000 subs is absolutely mega. And to be honest, I think that Havoc should serve as a real inspiration for many professional players. Okay, look, not everyone is going to have Havoc's personality, but I think a lot of the pro players do know on some level deep down, if they really tried from a content perspective, they are good enough to make it work. And I think that Havoc and other players that have done similar things in the last few years are proof of this, that there's so many players out there that if they actually committed to try and make good content, they could really set themselves up for success after their playing careers are over. And, you know, many players have done this very successfully. Other players have not done this so successfully, and then their career ends and they realize, hang on a second, what do I actually do at this point? So, yeah, incredibly impressive from Havoc. But I wanted to talk about a couple of these issues with Call of Duty as it stands, because Havoc certainly knows all too well the problems going on with CoD right now. I'll share this clip for you guys in a second too, where Kismet was talking about CleanX. Of course, they had a time teaming together on the subliners back in the Vanguard year, where, of course, Kismet came into the team mid-season. They ended up winning the Pro-Am tournament that year. Then they made a miracle run at their home Major 4 in New York, at the King's Theatre, whatever it was, to qualify for the World Championship that season. And then, of course, next year, after Kremp was out of there, Kismet went on to win the World Championship with a relatively similar roster with HyDra on the team as well. But Scump, he won his last World Championship in 2017. he's been getting roasted over his push-up form over the last couple of days. There was a clip that was going around, wasn't there, and all the replies were not, you know, so happy about Scump's form, shall we say. But generally speaking, Scump has been around the Call of Duty world for so many years, and we know that CoD is not in a great state right now. The community is still, I would say, in a good spot. Like, the fans of the scene, the players in the scene, the personalities that are still around the game, like the competitive CoD scene in terms of the interest in the CDL, is maybe not what it was a couple of years ago when it was Twitch and YouTube, and maybe Scump had just retired and there was all sorts of chaos in the scene. But there's still lots of you guys out there interested in what is going on. The real concern is just the general state of Call of Duty, because, you know, how are we intending to grow the competitive side of the scene if Call of Duty as a whole, as a general product, is, well, potentially dying? Now, we've talked about CoD dying before, like the downfall of CoD. A few years ago, there was that whole, like, hashtag revive CoD movement that was going around that I think it was Nameless was pushing it. I think we're talking like 2018, 2019, because it just felt like at that time CoD wasn't the same as it used to be. And then, of course, Warzone came along and the pandemic happened and it had a bit of a revival. But I think we know that many of the things that, you know, kind of culminated to the success that CoD had in that time period weren't really conducive to when things went back to normal over the next couple of years. So this is Scump watching many of these guys playing Marvel. I think this is Marvel Rivals. I actually thought this was Overwatch when I first saw it, but I think it's that new Marvel Rivals game, and people have been grinding it out big time over the last few days. The CoD has only just come out, you know, and obviously we've got Formal, we've got other former players like Nadeshot. They've been grinding this game, and to be fair, some of the pro players are still playing some CoD, but you don't see it everywhere, and you would expect a couple of months into the new CoD title to have the biggest creators in CoD still playing the game. That's always how it used to be, but that is not true anymore. And Scump is watching this unfold and saying, like, what is going on here? Yeah, I know there's cheaters around, but people are abandoning Call of Duty effectively like never before.
How was it teaming with Kremp? It was good. I wish it would have been cool to get like Kremp's younger years, I guess, in a sense, but like he was still really phenomenal when I played with him, and he's got a great head on his shoulders. He taught me a lot about winning, so yeah, no, I love Kremp. I love playing with him. He was a good teammate.
I just got ripped fucking into this whole thread. So OpTic tweets out 1 to 5, 1 being bad, 10 or 5 being good on my push-up form. What in the dick ride's going on here? Riley gave me zeros across the board. And then Zinni says, laughing my ass off, what in the T-Rex? Look at these fucking guys. If this is how deep his strokes are, we're never getting a Scump Jr. If someone walked in, they would think he's having a seizure. I mean, brother, not one push-up was completed. Beta outside the game, alpha in the game. So at least he said I'm an alpha in the game. We'll do that. We'll take that. I can't go anywhere without just getting fucking cooked into eternity. It's insane.
Damn, is COD fucking... Yo, COD, they can't keep their ranked servers up. People are abandoning COD right now. I mean, fuck me. What is going on with COD? Yo, I thought when Microsoft overtook everything, I thought we were about to be like smooth sailing. What the hell is going on? There's a hacking problem. I mean, yeah, obviously. But the game ain't even... We can't even play ranked right now. It's insane.
So I think it's got to be the culmination of a few problems with the game as it stands. Nadeshot was talking about it a lot over the last few days, especially because, look, the game may not be what it used to be. And also, maybe many of the players, like some of these, you know, creators and stuff, when they were playing Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, games in that time frame, they were kind of different people as they are today. I certainly find that in myself. It's like, even if Black Ops 3 was to drop again today, brand new, would I play it as much as I did? Like, I don't think there's any chance that I would. Like, you know, time moves on, you're interested in different things. It is what it is. And maybe that's true to some degree for the creators as well, but... So maybe CoD isn't what it used to be regardless, even if the game hadn't got worse. But the game has also got worse, and that is a factor as well in many ways. Like, sure, is Black Ops 6 better than the games we've had for the last couple of years? I know there's some that might argue that last year's Modern Warfare 3 was, you know, competitive. But to me, Black Ops 6 is probably the best fundamental game we've had since, at least since Cold War, probably of the CDL era, you can argue. Many of the players would agree with this. Maybe, you know, it's honeymoon period or whatever. But a lot of the pro players would say, you know what, the game fundamentally is a 7 or 8 out of 10, which is better than we've seen for a very long time. But there's just so many problems that it's impossible to enjoy the game, and the pros are in a similar spot as well. Even the fact, I know that the CDL hasn't been so bad so far, but you guys remember when the KSAN tournament happened, and they literally couldn't even start the private match games because one small error in the way that you were putting the settings into the game in custom games would completely break the whole server. And it's like, these issues happen in CoD every year. It's a side effect of bringing out a new Call of Duty title every single year. But Nadeshot was going off about this a couple of weeks ago, talking about the Ricochet anti-cheat not working, Black Ops 6 is dead in the water because of it, and it wasn't much before then when he effectively said, yeah, he's going to step away from CoD and no longer play it again. I can't play it, I can't enjoy it, there's no integrity, someone's always cheating, the network sucks, or the game is broken. I think this is another point as well, right? The servers being so massively problematic, and Nadeshot's point was, he's simply not going to put the time into CoD until they fix these issues. And to be fair, we've said this for years, and maybe it was inevitable, but, you know, pre-orders, right? The idea always is, oh, you get the pre-order bonuses if you pre-order the game, but of course you pre-order the game, they get money in the door, they don't necessarily need to, you know, commit to creating as good of a product as they could make. And I think that's kind of where we find ourselves today, where the game has just fallen off so dramatically. And Nadeshot's point was, they're not putting the money in to the areas that need the money because they don't feel like they have to. They think the players aren't really going to care. Oh, well, we could invest in upgrading our servers and our network and all this, but, well, that's going to cost money. And maybe most, you know, lantern dads sitting at home playing with a couple of beers and I aren't going to care anyway. And maybe there's some truth to that. The problem is that it does go on some level from the top down. If all the big streamers quit playing your game, that ain't a good look. How do you expect people to come across and find the game? And also, is there any interest from the guys at Activision in the actual competitive league product? Because if a lot of these guys don't want to play the game because it's bad for various reasons and the pro players themselves are criticizing the game heavily, what does that say about your game, your product, and the league that you're putting money into running? It's just all very confusing. And I think it kind of goes back to what we saw the other day, where there was discussions around why the different developers are working in isolation and the decision making just isn't there at all. It seems like so many different factions have ideas of how to make CoD work, and it's not about making a good game anymore. It's about making a game that's as least broken as possible, but it simply is always broken. And to be fair, it's not just the game itself. I mean, it's not like the pros are helping the situation a lot of the time. We know all the gentleman's agreement drama. Zuma was going off about that, as we saw in yesterday's video. But yeah, I think there's a few reasons why Scump is right to be concerned about the current state of Call of Duty. People abandoning it left, right, and center. Does that mean that people aren't going to tune in to watch the competitive product? I mean, look, people love competitive play. The players are entertaining, but how do we expect to grow and develop the scene if the game itself is not growing and developing at all? And basically anyone who plays the game will say that it used to be better. Either you'll get the MW19 kids who came in a couple of years ago saying that it was better back then, or you'll get people like myself and many others of you guys watching will say it was better 8, 9, 10 years ago, probably more than that. But very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Are you getting healed at all, Dennis?
In the beginning, yeah. Not at the end there.
Can't wait to look at the heals, man. That was so terrible.
Shit on.
That was so terrible.
Why the fuck does my game keep crashing? Honestly, Matt, by the way, Matt, you were muted that entire game.
No, I'm not fucking muted. Everybody just talking a fucking enough for me, bro. Everybody, bro, we have a comm at 24/7, which I am totally fine with. I got 5 fucking different Loki characters on the map. There's 20 fucking people in the hill. I'm trying to figure out who to single and solo out. What the fuck can I possibly add to this goddamn Discord, Tyler? Tell me, bro, because you're fucking saying enough for all of us.
I'm not really talking that much. I was crashed the entire game, pretty much.
It was like 45 seconds, bro.
Solid minute, at least.
But sure, let me calm, dude.